Hey guys, it's me again, Chippy Tabitha, with Swooning over Stans. You know it, you love it, you're excited. We went to sleep last time, we're waking up this time, so Mabel was planning us a lakeside date with Grunkle Stan. So let's get back into it. You slip out of a dream and back into your room, in real life. The sky is light outside, and groggily, you feel regret as you realize Waddle's comforting weight isn't there anymore. I love cuddling with animals, honestly. Wait, that's not what you're regretting. You're regretting the end of what you feel like was a really good dream. Stan had taken you with him to the lake, you think, and somehow ended up in the water. Sunlight streamed down on him as he grinned at you, his white shirt sticking wet skin. That'd be a date, all right. But it's the last thing you're expecting from today. Laughing quietly at yourself, you glance at the clock to see if it's time to get ready for the day. Anyway. Girl, that... So, like I said, I follow one of the artists on Tumblr, right? And that, image of Stan with a wet shirt, really funny, because I'm pretty sure somewhere on Sovo Knight's blog, there's a picture of Teen Stan with a wet shirt. They colored it 2 times? 2 different times. And one time the shirt was more see-through than the first. And I remember losing my mind over it. It's Teen Stan, it's not Grunkle Stan, it's Teen Stan, but still. That's so funny. It's the image that has appeared in my mind. Just whoop. A little while later, and you're dressed for the day at the lake, meaning dressed for a regular day of summer. You're not sure what to expect, so you kept it casual. You would have eaten breakfast with Stan and the kids, but you were barred from the kitchen by Mabel, who was shielding you from a surprise. Instead, you were handed a slice of toast topped with an oddly cheerful sunny side-up egg and waved outside. Now that you're out in the sunlight, you can see that Mabel stuck a smiley face sticker on top of the egg. You peel it off with a shrug and dig in. I would have, stuck it on my head. I wish I had a smiley face sticker. I would have actually stuck it to my head. I would have just been like, oh, I should have a sheet of stickers. Leaning against the scarlet door of the El Diablo, you stare up at the totem pole outside the shack, thinking about how it both stands out and fits perfectly in with the shack's aesthetic. Yeah, it's obviously part of the weirdness of the tourist stop, but you're not sure why. It looks pretty well made, even if it's kind of creepy that whenever you move, the eyes at the top seem to follow you. That's not normal. Sweetheart, that's not normal. Suddenly, the front door of the house bursts open, and a flurry of sequins and glittery hair clips flies out, attached to a very excited Mabel. Sherry, are you ready? You're not spying any conspiratory nudges or winks, so you kind of think Mabel's dropped the whole date setup thing, at least for the moment. For what? Fishing? Yeah, aren't you excited? Have you seen my channel? I do a lot of fishing games. This isn't just regular lake fishing. This is Lake Gravity Falls fishing, where adventure awaits, danger's hot on your heels, and the islands shift and move in the corners of your eyes. The what move? The what? Part of me is like, I need to pull out my book, because I'm pretty sure in the journal that I put back on my shelf in the background, you can kind of see my shelf. It's on the shelf that's cut off. It's fine. But I want to pull out the book and be like, oh, look, it's right here. I'm not gonna. I'm sitted. I'm sitted. We're gonna lean into it. Sitted and playing. Are we talking about Scuttlebutt Island? I love telling that one. So we were out on the shore, right? And we saw this giant... Hey, you kids better not be giving Sherry that lake monster story again. Stan comes out of the shack with several fishing rods in the crook of his arm, as well as a large tackle box in his right hand. In his other hand are 4 fishing hats with haphazard embroidery on the front of 2 of them. A closer look reveals that there are actually names stitched onto the hats, reading Mabel and Dippy. Grunkle Stan, you don't have to pretend not to believe us anymore. I swear it really happened. It just rose right out of the water and started chasing us. And we had to row back as fast as we could, and it was speaking in creepy monster language, and what did I say? No more of that monster talk, or you're gonna scare Sherry away. Both kids look a little disappointed, but leave it at that. Stan puts on a smile and drops Dipper and Mabel's respective fishing hats on their heads, and Mabel tugs hers on while running to the car, while Dipper follows, exchanging his usual hat for the fishing one. It's so cute, the Dippy hat. The Dippy and Mabel hat's so cute. The E on the Mabel one is backwards. Stan looks out after them, then turns to face you. Kids love to exaggerate. Pretty sure it wasn't that terrifying. Besides, I've been through worse. You hear that, kids? Only your Grunkle Stan's got the right to complain. Stan hefts his fishing supplies over to one arm, using the other to dig around in his pocket for the car keys. He tosses the rods, hats, and tackle box inside. Mabel's hand darts in before Stan can close the trunk, grabbing hat. Before you can tell what it says, it's shoved into your hands and you smooth out the fabric to read Sherry. I hope one of those R's is backwards. Like, I want a matching hat. I want one of the R's to face the other way. So like S-H-E, backwards R, forward R, I. And like a small I. Like, just to be absolutely unhinged. I'll see if I can't whip up an image of this for me later to add to this. Stan groans. Mabel, I thought I told you I wasn't gonna give it to her. But you worked so hard stitching it this morning, you even got the letters the right way on. Mostly. Mabel gets in the back seat next to Dipper, leaving you to look at the hat more closely. The sewing is a little messy, and one of the letters is backwards, but Stan clearly put some amount of care into it. It's so cute. I called it. Speaking of Stan, he's staring at the hat Mabel shoved at you, thinking of something to say. Did you really make this for me? Stan scratches the back of his head and shrugs a little. Yeah, Mabel wouldn't let me leave until I made you one. Said it was nicer if all of us had matching hats or something. I'm putting the hat on. You put it on and beam at Stan. Stam? Beam at Stan. I'm just like... I wish I had... I mean, I wouldn't be able to wear my headphones, so I wouldn't be able to hear the dope music, but, like, I'd play without music if I had a hat with my name stitched across it. To play the game with props, that's a little too much. That's a little too much. He doesn't respond, just reaching up and closes the trunk, but you see he looks almost too privately pleased to give comments. Good, great. Come on, let's get to the lake before all those tourists take the good parking spots. Don't most of the people who fish here live here? The parking lot is far less packed than Stan made it out to be. The weather brought out the true fishing fanatics, and you recognize a few customers from the Shack's gift shop milling about. There are a couple clouds out, but the sunshine is warm against your skin as you step out of the car, and you shield your eyes from the light as you look out over the lake. I love the, like, painterly style of this, actually. Like, you can see the brush strokes. That's so cool. Oh, I love this. Like, I know it's digital, but, like, I could almost see this as, like, an actual painting hung up in someone's home that's, like, somebody painted. That's so good. Did I finish reading this? I did. Distracted myself. Ooh, distraction! A few boats bobbing up and down in the blue-gray water sport telltale signs of fellow fishers with poles sticking out over the boat's edges. But some people are just relaxing in the water. Families sit on beach towels and sunbathe, and you spot a couple kids standing in line for a hot dog stand. For a small town, this place is pretty lively. Mabel and Dipper run out to the shore, where a splash from Mabel soon devolves the moment into a contest of who can splash who worst. You grin at them, and their laughter, but a quiet grunt from behind you catches your attention. Left to get everything out of the trunk, Stan struggles to get the fishing equipment out without dropping anything. I'm gonna offer to help. I'm an adult, I'm not a child. Hey, need some help? Stan glances up at you. It's really not that much, you know? Not even a couple of poles? Stan considers this for a moment, then hands you two of the 4 fishing poles. Think you can hold your own? What, under the crushing weight of a couple fishing poles? I think I can manage. You hear Mabel's voice from the distance away to the shore. Truce, hold on, I've got a phone call. You see Mabel taking out her cell phone as Dipper takes the opportunity to start wringing out parts of his shirts. Okay, I'll be there in 5. Bye, Grenda. Mabel hangs up and rushes to you and Stan. Grunkle Stan, I'm really sorry, but an emergency is happening right as we speak. What, is somebody dying? No, the opposite, a birthing. Grenda Jr. is having a baby right now, and Grenda needs me there for motherly support. Grunkle Stan, you gotta let me go. Stan scratches his head and frowns. I don't know, sweetie. I thought we were all gonna go fishing today. Can't you hold it in? Isn't that a thing that happens? Stan. Nope, and it's not every day I get to see the wonders of iguana childbirth. Grunkle Stan, please. Do iguanas do live birth? They might, actually. I feel like that's something that I know in the back of my head and I can't. My brain is like a filing cabinet, okay? But the things to access the memories, like the little file tabs, don't necessarily connect in the way that you would think that they do. So, like, in order for me to access certain memories, you have to say a code word, which is the file name, and the information will sprout to the front of my mind. But a lot of the times, it's just like, there's memory locked in my brain. I know it exists in here somewhere, deep in the recesses of my mind. But how do I get it? I don't know. It's a secret even to me. Mabel gives him those patented Mabel puppy eyes. Stan lets out a heavy sigh, shakes his head, and smiles. All right, Pumpkin, go on. I know your friend is waiting for you. Thank you. Mabel wraps her arms around Stan's waist and gives him a strong hug, her wide grin never faltering. She then lets go and grabs Dipper's wrist before dashing off. I'm taking Dipper for moral support. Wait, I didn't agree to this, Mabel. Mabel! I thought lizards hatched from eggs. I thought so too, but hell, I've seen weirder. Let's not question it, kid. Before you delve too deeply into the thought of live-birthed lizards, your phone buzzes in your pocket. You pull it out, and it's a text from Mabel. Hi, Sherry. I fixed you up so you get a whole day with Grunkle Stan. Have fun. Winky emoji. Emoticon. It's not an emoji, it's an emoticon. Old version emoticon. Right, emoticon. Winky emoticon. Oh shoot, I gotta go. Grenda says Grenda is getting closer to baby time. See ya! That clever little devil. Something wrong? Nah, just Mabel saying she's gonna send lots of pictures of the newborn lizard. Well, come on, let's get to fishing before it gets dark out. It's so painterly and beautiful. I just wanna, I want to print out the picture and eat it. I spend a lot of time on Tumblr, so I will say some unhinged things about art. People on Tumblr are not normal about art. We're all very unwell about art. I don't know how many times I personally have said, I'm going to print this out and eat it to people. I'm pretty sure I have a list of pictures from the Hannibal fandom that a friend painted that I was like, I'm printing these out and I'm eating them. And I never have. I should. I feel like if I say I'm going to, I should. Towards the end of the first pier, docked with only a frayed length of rope, is a sad-looking dinghy with the words "Stan o' War" brushed on in thick black paint. You note a small rusting motor on the stern that looks as if it's going to fall apart at any moment, and what looks like a hastily made patch on the side. There's no way this thing is watertight. Stan sets the 2 poles down inside, along with the tackle box, and gestures at the boat. Well, there she is. A beauty, ain't she? Well, you see. Well, you look at Stan, then back at the boat, then back at him. That feels like an Old Spice commercial. It's a bit small, don't you think? Stan crosses his arm. What, you saying you got a problem with my boat? No, it's just compliment the man's boat. Carp capacity. There's not enough room for the carp. That's all. Where are we going to put the massive amounts of fish we're about to catch? Stan laughs at that, his expression brightening. Ha! Optimistic. I like it. I'm gonna reel in so much fish will be coming out of your ears, Stanley Pines. Alright, hotshot, I'll hold you to that. Stan climbs down into the boat first and offers you his hand to steady yourself as you follow him down. The boat wobbles a little, swaying dangerously away from your body, but Stan's grip is firm and you're able to get in the boat without incident. Okay, here's the thing. I can get in and out of boats. Shockingly. I'm about as graceful as a newborn gazelle because I straight up, I will slam into walls in my home, at work, in like my friends' places who I go to all the time. I'll just be like, oh man, who put that wall there? The wall's been there the whole time. But I can get in and out of a boat without dying, without like braining myself on it. It's horrifying. There are certain things I'm the most graceful human ever, and then other times I like slam my face into the cabinet downstairs in the kitchen and I go, oh, geez, who put that there? And half the time it was me. I left the door open and I turn around and I wham! It's fine. Whoa there, careful now. Won't want you getting wet before we've even started. The footing's a little tricky. See, that plank has a habit of moving and tipping this boat the whole way over. And when that happens, you want to swing your weight over here. Okay, no, I'm getting out. Stan chuckles heartily, making it clear that he was joking. In your relief, you notice that he's still holding your hand from the assist earlier. I'm just messing with you. Don't worry, you're not going to get wet, Toots. You're in good hands. Please don't call me Toots. I'll die. And this, isn't the only fishing vessel I own. The other one's bigger, called the Stan War 2. Creative. Hey, I'm not joking this time. I've got pictures. Hold on. And you, quit standing. Take a seat. Don't want you losing your balance. You sit and watch as Stan digs out his wallet and opens it. It's so full of photos that several come free, fluttering down to the floor of the boat. As you pick them up, you see that they're pictures of Seuss, the kids, and a teenager you've been told is Wendy. This is the Stan War 2. Stan hands you an unfolded photo, which depicts him and Ford standing proudly on the deck of a comparatively larger, newer, and safer-looking vessel than the one you're in now. It's docked in a place you don't recognize, and the sky is bright blue and cloudless. I tried to say sky and bright at the same time. I have a little bit of dyslexia, and in order to combat that, I speed read, and that has its own hang-ups where I like to merge words because my mouth is saying the first part of one word while my brain is already reading the next couple of words, and so I will just conjoin them into horrifying sounds. She's a resilient one, sailed all over and never let me down once. Well, until me and Ford came back to Oregon. Then, poof, she spluttered out and we had to send her in for repairs. Something about sailing in extreme environments? Point is, I'm back down to the Stan War Mark 1 over here. This old girl's got her quirks, but she's reliable. I mean, technically it would be Stan War 1.5. Because the first Stan War would have been the one in New Jersey, though we don't actually know what happened to. I'm guessing this one needs fixing pretty often. Yeah, just like my El Diablo, every time it broke down, I just fixed it up again. Learned real quick what to do and what not to do under the hood. He chuckles to himself and dusts off his hands before presenting his outstretched palm to you. You see that big scar right across my palm? I told the kids I got it fighting off a big grizzly bear. You should have seen the look on their faces. Thought I was some kind of hero, you know? But the real story is I burned it on the engine when I was 16. Must have thought I was hot stuff trying to change the oil while the car was running. You're an idiot. Oh my god, were you alright? That must have been so painful. Sir, you're a dumbass. My pops called me an idiot. My pops called me an idiot for thinking the engine wasn't hot, but my mom cleaned me up in the end. That's so funny. I'm sorry. My brain cells I've fused. My brain cell, the writers, just fused together into this nightmare conglomerate. You remember you're still holding his photos, and you hand them all back, which he returns to his wallet with some difficulty. Hey, does that wallet just carry photos, or does it hold money from time to time? Stan chuckles at your teasing. Nah, I just keep a lot of photos in there to remember. It keeps me grounded. Anyway, let's get this show on the road. That's both upsetting and so cute, because he got zapped with the memory gun, so his memory's kind of wishy-washy, and so the photos help him to remember. That's so touching and cute. The more I talk, the more my throat hurts, the more I want to drink water. It's another water break, guys. Stan turns, busying himself with cranking the motor, and with a few pulls, it sputters to life, expelling a thick plume of exhaust. He coughs and attempts to wave it away quickly. Stan gives the motor a couple of good thumps, and it quits coughing, the engine smoothing out into a much gentler thrum. From there, he's back to focusing on untying the boat from the pier and easing it out into the open water of the lake. Glancing around, you spot the two policemen from your night in the clink, and you quickly duck out of sight, hoping to avoid being seen. Stan turns his head and notices you crouched on the bottom of the boat and quirks an eyebrow. You hiding from the sun or something? Have you seen my complexion? Like, I glow in the dark. Like, I'm so white. This is the most color my face gets because I'm red from being embarrassed from playing this, because my reactions are, like, unreal. Also, the hair helps keeps me insulated, so I have color in my cheeks now. See, I'm all pink. I'm pink and freckly. No, it's those two cops from a few days ago. Stan whips his head around, spots them, and lets out a laugh so loud it startles you. Bro, they're gonna hear you. Who, Blubs and Durland? Ha, I told you those two are harmless, and besides, I think today they're a little more focused on each other than us. You peek your head up over the edge of the boat just enough to check out Stan's claim. Sure enough, the two cops seem to be engrossed only in each other, laughing and applying sunscreen to each other's skin. It's cute, you think, and a relief that they're not on the lookout to arrest you and Stan again. They're such a cute married couple, my OTP. Phew, thank goodness, that cell was way too cold to go back to. Stan gives you a nod of agreement, opening the tackle box. There's a bunch of colorful lures inside, a few hooks, and some spare string for the poles. He motions for you to hand him your pole, and within moments, he's got a hook tied to the end of your line. You a live bait or a lure kind of person? Okay, so my brain, I've got so many things that I'm a fan of. I'm certain I've talked about Hannibal, other than me want to eat Hannibal art, but I watched Hannibal. One of the characters makes fly fishing lures, so my brain's lure, but also Stan feels like a lure kind of guy. He crafts his own exhibits for the Mystery Shack, so he probably also crafts his own lures too, you know? As I shove my camera, I'm so excited. I'm gonna just shove everything. We're gonna go with lure, because if I can get my little hands, my little tiny doll hands, onto one of the lures, that'd be great. Ah, gotcha. I'm a live bait man myself, but I bet I can swing you over to my side in no time. Oh, well, shit. Stan picks out a feathered lure from the tackle box and attaches it to the end of your line, then hands you back your pole. The two of you settle into the relative quiet. As you wait for a bite, you look out over the lake at the other people outside today. Whether because he noticed or whether he was just filling the lull in conversation, Stan starts pointing out faces of the locals, putting names to them and giving you a little background on each person. You quickly realize that the background info he gives has too much of his opinion mixed in to be useful, but try to remember the names anyway. Still, time passes easily and you soon find yourself reeling in quite a few catches of your own. Looking over at Stan, you've clearly managed to catch more, but he dismisses the difference with the excuse that his luck's just waiting to kick in any moment now. Seriously, any moment. He glares at the lake for a minute, then lets it go, leaning back with a sigh. Whew. I think it's time for a water break, don't you? Sir, I've had my water multiple times. Trying to distract me so you'll gain the advantage? Hey, if you faint out here, that's not gonna be on me, kid. You want a bottle or not? Okay, toss me one, would you? Don't throw anything at me. I'll eat it to the face. Remember me talking not even a minute ago about slamming my face into the cupboard door in my own kitchen? Don't throw things at me. I'll either slap it out of the air like a cat, or I'll eat it in the face. Stan leans down and digs around in the bottom of the boat towards the bow and comes away with 2 bottles of water, wet with condensation. He smiles and tosses you the bottle, and you catch it, twisting off the cap and taking a grateful sip. Until now, you hadn't realized how thirsty you actually were. I have to read this out loud. I was reading ahead while I was sipping water, obviously. You can tell from my reaction. I have to read this out loud, don't I? You guys want me to read that? You want me to read that, don't you? I can hear you through my headphones, screaming over the sound of the music. Oh boy. Stan takes out his own bottle and starts chugging the water, clearly more thirsty than you are. Some of the water slips past the opening and drips down his chin and onto his shirt, darkening the fabric. Your palms suddenly feel very sweaty, and you can't look away. I did. I looked away. I was scared enough. Stan notices you staring and swallows, taking the bottle away and licking the stray moisture off his lips. Your eyes both meet, and for a long moment you both just stare at each other, neither daring to take a breath. Stan licks his lips again, slowly this time, almost deliberately so. Sir, please, my heart can't handle this. I'm going to die recording this. A sound of a boat motor breaks the silence, and you whip your head around just in time to see a speedboat tear past you at a speed that's definitely illegal for a lake as small as this one. You have half a mind to share a very rude gesture to the driver, but suddenly Stan is grabbing your hand and shouting, "Look out!" Because the massive wave created in the speedboat's wake is headed in your direction. It slams into the dinghy and rocks it off balance, tipping it dangerously to one side before dumping you both out into the water, fish and all. No, my fish! The water is cold, almost bitterly so for being the middle of the summer, and despite surfacing nearly instantly, you're already soaked and shivering. The poles, the tackle box, and the fish are long gone, and the boat floats upturned some distance to your right. You swim over to it and grip onto the curved underbelly, gasping for air. You hear Stan spluttering behind you, making his way to the boat. He's yelling at the offending boat, using some very colorful terms you've never heard before, but make a mental note to remember later for posterity. Once he makes it to the stand of war, he sags heavily against the wood, taking in deep, measured breaths. He, too, is completely soaked, and his wet shirt clings tightly to his body. Please stop objectifying the man. Sherry the character, Sherry the person, please. We need to stop. Looking at me, who's going to be editing this later, we need to stop. Okay? Oh, man. As his chest heaves, you can't help but look your fill, then pretend to be very invested in scanning the lake for the 2 policemen when Stan looks your way. Well, that's one disaster of a fishing trip. You can say that again. Stan lets out a disappointed groan and starts pulling off his jacket before tossing it on the upturned boat. What are we going to tell Dipper and Mabel, that their old uncle's lost his fishing touch? Ha, you wish. I could outfish you any day, sir. I was winning. I'd like to see you try, old man. Why, I oughta. He splashes water on you, and you shriek in mock outrage before a wicked grin fills your face. I really want to dunk him. I want to dunk him so bad. I'm the kind of person who escalates, like, real fast. I normally start these things, and I'm gonna be a menace to him, a menace to myself. I'm gonna dunk him. Go big or go home, as the saying goes. You shove Stan under the water for a brief moment, and he comes up coughing and spitting water, and less thrilled than you'd initially hoped. What are you trying to do, kid? Kill me? Sound of an air horn, led by Derlin, saves you from the awkward moment, and you breathe a sigh of relief, knowing you're about to be rescued. I've made a mistake, guys. The ride back to the shore is a quiet one, and you take the opportunity to start wringing out the hem of your shirt. Everything smells like briny lake water, and you wrinkle your nose at the scent. Definitely not the most glamorous end to a fishing trip, you think. The walk back to the car is slow and methodical, a relief after the adrenaline rush you just had a little while ago. Stan is wringing out his jacket, muttering under his breath something about damaging good Moroccan leather, when a sudden and violent cold chill runs through your body. Despite the warmth of the sun, your soaked clothes and clammy skin from the water all catch up at once, and you start shivering. Oh geez, here, take my jacket. Honey, your jacket's also wet. Before you can protest, Stan is draping his jacket around your shoulders. It's damp, but you're immediately surrounded by a sense of warmth, and your chills subside just a little bit. Somehow, despite having taken a dunk in the lake along with the rest of him, the jacket smells good. It's got a faint, woodsy smell to it, a hint of smokiness, because he smokes cigars. It takes everything in you not to bury your nose in the thick of it. I would be huffing. A dirty mouth breather just... Yeah, the water is so that I stop saying things that are embarrassing myself. I should have like a foot and mouth counter. I'm not gonna. That's too much effort for me to do. I would have to do it. While you're busy taking in the jacket, Stan hops into the driver's seat and has the El Diablo cranked and running in a flash. You need a ride back? Stan, you are my ride. No, please don't say that. I know, I'm just teasing you. He reaches across the bench seat and opens the passenger door, motioning for you to come inside. Come on, let's get back to the shack. It's a lot warmer in here than out there, you know. Stan flicks on the radio once you're cruising down the road, and a good song comes on, one you both know the words to. Stan is humming along quietly, and you pretend not to notice, not wanting to ruin a good thing. The breeze from the open window is calming, and as the trees whiz by, you don't regret getting soaked anymore. I mean, the breeze would also be freezing cold, if you were that cold to begin with. It's not long before Stan pulls up to the shack and shuts off the El Diablo, and you both exit the car. Your limbs crack and pop from exertion, and only now do you realize just how exhausted you feel from the day's adventure. Man, you'd kill for a nice, warm, dry bed right about now. Hey, Sherry, Stan halts for a moment and scratches the back of his head nervously. He's looking at the ground, shuffling his feet back and forth, trying to find the right words to say. I feel kind of bad about getting you all soaked today. I promised to be in good hands, and then everything went right to hell in a handbasket, didn't it? I dunked you. I mean, dude, I dunked you. You didn't have a good time with the dunking, it's fine. Do you like campfires? What? I asked if you like campfires. Yeah, I like campfires. Okay, here's the thing about campfires. Every time I go camping with my friends, we sit way too close to the campfire so that the mosquitoes leave us alone. And then all I inhale is smoke, and my poor asthmatic lungs struggle. They struggle and they die. Yeah, I like campfires. Great, hold on. I'll be just a few minutes. Alright, well, I'm gonna stop this here. Before this awkward day continues. I want to go back so bad and fix... I'm saving this. Look at this. Look, I'm saving. So you can see it's been 20 days since I've played. I'm not going back. I've done what I've done. I said what I said. I did what I did. So while Stan goes to get stuff for a campfire, we're going to end the episode here. If you liked it, hit that like button, slap that subscribe button, so you can see when the next one of these nightmarish episodes comes up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!